Welcome, everybody. So it's Cynthia Ray here, and today we have a really special guest. I can't wait to share her knowledge with you and just all of her life story and information. It's going to be so amazing. So we have our friend with us, our new friend, Diane. Is it Aileelo? Is that correct?
Aileelo.
Aileelo. Okay, Aileelo. With us today, and she has an amazing story and history with her journey as a professional makeup artist. And I've been looking for somebody. I don't know. It's kind of been really praying for somebody to come that would share with us how to make ourselves, actually not even that, I say make ourselves more beautiful, but it's more like bring out the beauty in ourselves even more that God created in us as we age. And I know a couple months ago we had Mary Lou Moglia come on, and she's a face yoga instructor, and her and I were talking about why is it that women feel like, or if it's all culture or I'm not sure exactly why is it that women feel like as they age, they're like, it doesn't matter anymore. I don't have to keep taking care of myself. But in like our 20s and 30s, we're like, teenage, like, we need, just there's this drive, to feel more attractive, to be more attractive, to feel more beautiful. But as we get older, like, we're just getting older. I'm just going to embrace it. But I'm like, okay, yeah, embracing it's good, but why not keep, working on ourselves? So that's why I'm excited to have Diane here with us, because she's going to be that other piece in sharing about how to add more beauty to our beautiful selves and feel even more fabulous than you already are. So anyway, welcome, Diane. Thank you for being with me. This is really cool.
Thank you so much. I'm so excited. I'm so grateful that you reached out to me about this. I'm really excited.
Yay,
so thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Okay, so let me share a little bit about Diane. Okay, so actually before that, so her and I don't know how many of you are familiar with Rennie Ling. So I know a lot of us are Donna Parto people, which is really fun. But her and I actually met. We were are in a fasting, spiritual fasting group through Rennie. She has a book, Pray, Fast, Give. I don't want to say
Give, Pray, Fast.
Okay, Give, Pray, Fast. Thank you. Give, Pray, Fast. Okay.
I think.
Sorry, Rennie, but anyway, I interviewed her too a few months back, so she's great. Okay, so so I met her through that. And I was just kind of wanting to get to know people in the group because it's just cool. Like with social media, it's really hard sometimes to know who's who, or people post. You're like, they're real people behind these names. So I thought it'd be kind of fun to find out. So anyway, I got to know her through that, and I'm really glad I reached out to her. And So Diane, so in college, Diane traded her criminal justice studies for beauty school and began a 30-year career in beauty and fashion. She started her professional career doing facials and skincare treatments, and eventually, after an encounter with a photographer, embarked on her makeup career, which led to working on high-profile fashion, beauty, and lifestyle advertising campaigns, as well as commercial and celebrity bookings. Additionally, Diane spent 18 years as the beauty and fashion editor for a luxury lifestyle magazine in Scottsdale, Arizona, as well as having an award-winning on-location beauty team, beauty boutique, and skincare spa. That sounds really cool. Everybody, we hear the word spa, we're like, that sounds lovely.
Yeah.
Pampering, nurturing,
It was.
self-care. I bet that sounds amazing. Okay, so this is so perfect for us because in my course, the Ageless Body Blueprint, and just in what I teach women overall, we're all about working on our ageless beauty. So, and improving our skin with natural remedies and simple products. Like, it's funny because in our group, we talk about castor oil a lot and how much we love that. But then also we're now kind of coming into discovering tallow, animal fat, right? And so I've been using that, and it's so amazing. I've been a huge proponent of castor oil, but started using tallow about a week ago. And when I put it on, it's like second nature. It just like goes right into your skin. Yeah. And then putting makeup over it is so seamless. And maybe you can share that more with us. But anyway, so, and then plus it's the cleanest, healthiest option. And it just seems like it does so much more beyond than all the products we would find in a store. I'm assuming Diane will tell us more about this, but okay. So let's go a little bit deeper and allow Diane to reveal everything skincare products, and I think we're going to do some maybe practical application.
A little bit tips. I'm going to give you some skincare tips and some makeup tips. So.
Okay, awesome. Yay. Okay, so let's start here. So welcome again. But tell us a little bit about yourself and who, I know you mentioned a little bit about what you've done work-wise, but is there a particular population also that you serve or you like to work with the most?
Mm-hmm.
So tell us about yourself and some of those people.
Well, as you just mentioned, I've been doing this for probably total over 30 years, like 35 years in the industry, around there. But I had a very slow journey because when I started, there wasn't really, there was no social media, there was no YouTube, there was, you just couldn't find the information as easily. So I really, I loved skincare. I love makeup. I love all the, growing up, I always wanted to watch anything that was glamorous, a movie that was super glamorous. And so, anyway, it was a very long journey to there. And then to the point where I was doing makeup full time. And then I started doing beauty editing for a magazine. And at that point, that was kind of when I was introduced to some different people just through the job of like reaching out and interviewing people in the beauty business. And I came upon, well, let me back up. I don't think I even answered who I serve, but mostly I do photo shoots, commercials, videos. I do work with some private clients when they need to be, when they need to get ready for special events, or they're speaking from the stage, or they're doing their own photo shoots. So that's primarily what I do. And then I do have clients reach out to me that just sometimes need a little help with their routine.
Okay, that's nice. So practical.
Yeah. And so, but as I was working as a beauty editor and starting to open my own skincare spa, I became aware of a woman called, her name is Rosemary Swift. She owns RMS Beauty, which is a very popular, one of the first really popular clean beauty brands.
Okay.
And through her, just her story, she was so sick she became so ill. My hands are in the products all the time. I use my hands a lot when I'm applying products to people. I sometimes apply makeup with my fingers instead of sponges or brushes. And she was so ill that when she went to the hospital, doctors were telling her, like, we don't even know how you're walking around, because she had so much toxic poisoning in her body.
Wow.
And, our skin is our largest organ. So it really matters what we're putting on it. And just meeting her, I really started diving into clean beauty. And I started kind of, taking a deeper dive into that. And that's kind of what's led me here. So I'm still serving all those clients, but trying to help people understand what's happening with their products as well. Because I think, especially in this group, everybody's making an effort to be healthier all the way around and be vibrant. And your products really do matter.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, that's one thing. I'm glad you mentioned that, because I know when we had Anna Kokanovic on, she's our holistic skincare specialist. And that was her biggest reminder for us, was like, remember that your skin is your largest organ, and anything you put on it is going to go directly into your bloodstream. Right. Yeah. So, and a lot of times we forget, or we just think, oh, well, I need to do such and such product, or this one is touted to be natural, but we don't really take the time to look at the ingredients because we just trust that it's natural. And so that happens. I know I was talking to somebody. Actually, you know what it was? I was looking through my cabinet, and as we moved back to our home in Idaho, I was kind of organizing and reorganizing, and I was looking at some of the things I had under my bathroom cabinet, and I thought, oh, some sunscreens and things. And then I was like, oh, I have this Neutrogena bottle of sunscreen. I'm like, So I think, or thought, that Neutrogena, I don't know if this is true or not, but is like a more natural, safer skin care or sunscreen. I bought it for that reason. Think, oh, it'll be better. But I have not, and I'm assuming it's not 100% perfect, because I have not taken a look at the label and I toss it to the side. So this is totally an aside thing, but is it not as natural as far as you know?
It's not natural. So I will tell you, so here's another part to my journey, was that after I met Rosemary and we really talked about all of this, and I started going, okay, this is making sense, because I developed an autoimmune issue. And I was like, okay, I was going to all these doctors, and they're just like, oh, you're just a modern woman, and you're just stressed. And, no, I'm putting toxic chemicals on myself every single day.
Yeah.
And, we can't be perfect about it. And I don't want anybody to obsess about it after watching this. We just do the best that we can. But so I started really looking into this and how I was going to change my own beauty routine and the products and services that I offer. So I kind of started that journey slowly about 15 years ago, maybe a little more, maybe 18. And then in the last 4 years, I have really shifted the professional products that I use and recommend. The more I've tried everything out to duplicate the traditional products that I had in my kit. But in answer to your question about some of these products, I'm going to say this is not going to be a popular piece of info, but it is almost anything you buy in a drugstore that's a popular big box brand is not going to be natural.
Okay.
There's a lot of greenwashing in the industry, and greenwashing, it's much like when you go to buy a food item in a package and on the front, I have these conversations with my husband all the time because he never reads the back. And I've been trying to encourage him, you got to read the back. You got to read the back of the package. So on the front of the package, one thing comes to mind, these things that he was buying for a while for me because he thought they were really healthy. And they're like veggie sticks. They're like puffed, almost like a Cheeto, but it's a veggie stick.
Right.
But on the back, if you look at the ingredients, there's a million ingredients and there's very little vegetable in it.
It's like powder or something, maybe coloring or something.
Exactly. And so most of your makeup and skincare that you buy in a drugstore, or even most of them that are going to be in a really nice retail store, department store, there's majority of them are not going to be clean. And so what I talk about is clean and low toxicity because something can be organic. There can be organic ingredients. Excuse me. There can be organic ingredients. Doesn't mean the whole product is organic. There can be natural ingredients. Doesn't mean the product is natural. And there's a lot of bait and switch with labeling and naming. Another thing people aren't aware of is that that cosmetic companies make up names of ingredients. So there's times where I'm watching a commercial and it says, this contains Matrixyl 5000. Well, what's that? That's just an ingredient that company decided to name this ingredient, and they can only use the name because then it sounds special. Like, ooh, we've got this amazing ingredient.
The thing, right? But what about everything else? Yeah.
Right.
I guess that's just like food. The food industry is very
exactly
right.
It's exactly the same. And the thing is, a lot of those ingredients that they're referring to aren't even they're just renaming something. And most of the time, it's not going to be healthy for you. It's going to be an aggressive chemical. Okay. And so I did create a download for anybody that wants that I go into the ingredients and I talk about what clean, low toxicity beauty is.
Okay, I'll put that in the notes too, so everybody can get that.
Yeah, and some of the other, some other little tips and suggestions on products. But honestly, a lot of times it's a bait and switch. So the only way that you're going to know if it is natural is read the back of the label. If something contains a lot of ingredients that you can't pronounce and you've never heard of, it's probably not natural. Now, I will say one thing. So let me grab a product that I have sitting here. So there's also going to be the Latin name if it's like this is a
like
face
a plant
oil.
or something.
So, if you see that and it's like this is a single oil, it's cacao plum and single oil. That's it. It's just the cold pressed oil from that, but it has the Latin name. So it's a little challenging if it says, like if something says it has cacao plum in parentheses, it's going to have the Latin name usually. So when you're looking at the back of a label, if there's a bunch of other things that are they sound like chemicals and there's no explanation for
Okay.
what they are, you probably want to stay away from that.
Got it. Okay. That's a great distinction. I
So,
like that because some
yeah,
of those larger, like you said, the Latin term could sound like a chemical term if you're not familiar with them,
exactly. But
but they
it's
have that
usually
description. Yeah.
right. And it's usually going to be in parentheses. And if I even look
Okay.
through all of this,
Mm-hmm.
the Latin name is in parentheses, but the
Got
regular name,
it.
the English is, so, you want to look
Mhm.
for that as well. And I
Yeah.
think it's challenging. It's, there's a lot to it. The beauty industry can be very tricky. So there's a
Mhm.
lot to it, but that's what in the download that I shared,
Okay.
it's got almost all of, excuse me, the endocrine disruptors and the potentially carcinogenic ingredients. So I've listed all of those. And
Okay.
sometimes some of those, there are things that are natural that we think are healthy. They're
Mhm.
not always the right thing to put on your skin
Okay. That's
as
good to know
well.
too. And there's such
So
a distinction. It's probably such a fine line with certain
there
things.
is. And
Yeah.
sometimes it's really common things. One of the things,
Mhm.
I no longer buy any skincare ingredients that contain water. And
Okay.
this surprises people a lot. But if you think about this, water and oil don't mix. So how do you
Okay.
make a cream? You need water, a water element, and oil. But
Okay.
because they don't mix,
Hmm.
it means there needs to be a lot of preservatives to keep it from spoiling.
Oh, okay. Or
So
separating.
right. And
Hmm.
and it will go bad faster because they
Okay.
don't mix properly. So you need a bunch of other preservatives. And the other
Um,
thing is,
mhm.
where's the water coming from?
Mm, mhm,
Most brands are not using spring water. They're not
mhm.
using, purified, really good water. They're using
Right.
tap water.
It says
And
aqua or whatever. I think it
right.
says aqua all the time.
Right. Exactly.
Uh-huh.
So if something has, it's the first ingredient, the second ingredient, the third ingredient, if it's a major ingredient,
Mhm.
and hopefully, their ingredients are always listed in order of how much is in the product. So the first ingredient is the most percentage
Okay.
in the product.
Okay.
So if water is at the top,
Mhm.
I would avoid that too.
Okay.
And most people will go, okay, that's every product, but it's actually not. It's actually not. You
Right.
can find
Okay.
products that don't contain water and they're
Mhm.
actually going to be. I actually think products that contain water
Mhm.
are a huge offender in disrupting the skin barrier because of all the chemicals that go into it.
That's right.
So,
Yeah, because you're mentioning something about endocrine disruptors. That was it. And
mhm.
and so how would you describe an endocrine disruptor? Is that what you're talking about?
Um, yeah, there's endocrine disruptors, there's potential carcinogens, there's a lot of ingredients that really don't belong on your face at all. They're things that
Mhm.
are put in, like to make a tire for your car. Like that shouldn't be going on your face. So
Yeah.
endocrine disruptors are going to be anything that really, you're absorbing this through your skin.
Mhm.
It's going to travel in your body. And
Mhm.
endocrine disruptors are the things that are going to halt the health of your organs in your endocrine system. And
Okay.
so you really you don't want to be using those if you can avoid it.
It seems like it
Um,
would cause like some kind of internal inflammation where
exactly.
your
It
body's getting
does.
stressed and yeah.
And sometimes it shuts
Mhm.
down the function of these
Mm,
different organs or diminishes the function.
mm,
And, I will tell you, most makeup artists that I
mhm.
know have some kind of autoimmune or have
Really?
some,
That's
yeah,
what a
a
study. I mean,
lot.
if someone actually pick up that population and do an interview and
Mhm.
study, like, what
Yeah.
is actually going on? I don't know if it ever be
And
published, but
right, right. And I mean, even if it's
yeah.
not an
Mhm,
autoimmune, almost
mhm,
every makeup artist I know that does what I do, that's like
mhm.
on location, dragging your kits around, putting
Yeah.
makeup on a lot of people a day, touching it up throughout the day. Most of the artists that I know have
Mhm.
some, once they've been in the industry for a while, have some kind of,
Mm.
adrenal issues or autoimmune issues or other
Wow.
issues in other health issues in
Interesting. That's
areas that are
fascinating.
diminished.
So
Mhm.
I was wondering too, I'm not sure how much you know about this, but it kind of makes sense. Like shampoo, right? Because you're putting the same products
Mm-hmm.
on your scalp
Right.
and your hair. So kind of look for the same things in shampoos. I don't know.
Same.
I mean,
Same
okay,
things.
same
You
thing.
want
Okay,
to, and those are listed in the download, a lot of those same
okay,
ingredients.
okay.
I have switched over the years, probably about 6 years ago, to solid shampoo,
Okay.
bar, and conditioner.
Oh,
Again, because it doesn't have water in it.
okay.
And also it doesn't have some of the foaming, surfactants that you want to avoid,
Okay.
because some
Yes.
of the,
Mhm.
no,
Oh, go
go
ahead.
ahead.
Oh, yeah. No, I was just thinking out loud. When my daughter and I were at our local farmers market last year, I really got to know this lady who makes soaps. She had a really amazing booth of all these beautiful, like
Mhm.
handmade or homemade soaps. And I just loved it because it was simple products and with these
Mhm.
great essential oils in them for the scent. But then she also had a shampoo bar. Is that what you're
Mhm.
talking about?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
so I thought it was cool and it was interesting. So I'm like, oh, I like things that are unique. So I'm like, oh, I'll give it a go. And it was great. It was definitely
Oh, yeah.
different because you're used to having liquid in your hand,
Right.
but you just
Um,
like,
you
I'm not
just
sure how you do it.
you
Hmm.
take the bar and you either can rub it on your hands or you can rub it directly onto the top of your head, your scalp,
Okay.
and then you
Yeah.
lather it like normal. And
Okay.
then the conditioner you want to do, and this is another thing a lot of people don't know,
Hmm.
shampoo is for your scalp.
Okay.
Conditioner is for your hair.
Oh, that makes
So
sense. Okay.
because a lot of people will use a lot of conditioner on the top of their head, and then they're like, oh, my hair feels really weird or it's thinning because you're clogging the scalp. So you want to
Mhm.
shampoo the scalp really
Okay.
well. And then
Okay.
when you put conditioner on, you want it to be on the hair,
I
if that makes
see.
sense. So
Okay. That makes total sense. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
So everything that I'm sharing, it goes
Mhm.
for hair, it goes for your body, it goes for your face, it
Okay.
goes for even your nails. You have to, there's
Mm.
ingredients in nail polish as well.
Okay.
So
That's a
you
whole
just
nother
want
thing.
to,
I
the
mean,
whole nother, I mean, I could talk for hours about this,
no,
but
I love it. But I mean, as far as nail polish goes, just kind of like, is there anything that we should
you
know?
you want to look for, it's called 3 free. So
Three
it's the
free.
three
Okay.
most harsh, toluene, for formaldehyde. What is the third? Now I'm forgetting.
Yeah, but these strong ingredients, I could just, yeah.
Yeah,
Hmm.
you want to look for products for nail polishes that don't have those top three.
Three.
And
Okay.
there's a lot more brands now
Uh-huh.
that are like that,
Hmm.
because probably 15 years ago, that was the
Hmm.
topic that everybody was talking about with
So is
nails.
this, if you wanted to find that out, could you like do Google
Mhm.
search and then it'll tell you
Yes,
the ones that are free of those three ingredients?
absolutely.
Okay. So
Um,
that's easy.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
So,
Oh, this is cool. Okay. Yeah. This is just so, I love it because it's so practical. It's one of those things that we don't
yeah,
necessarily think about.
right.
Or we go to our dermatologist and they're like, okay, go get this, this, and that.
Mhm.
And then we're like, okay, thinking,
Right,
you know,
right.
but, and then it's like actually causing more harm than good. And I
Hmm.
was thinking about it too. So at the beginning, we're talking about tallow and castor oil, which are single
Hmm.
ingredient items.
Right.
So that's the other thing
Yes.
too, is the amount of ingredients in something that I remember learning before. Like the single ingredient that does all the things seems like an ideal situation.
Yes.
Okay.
I, since the beginning of this year, I'll tell you just a little story about myself. So
Mhm,
when I had my beauty boutique, I
mhm,
ended up doing a job with a very prominent company. I was doing all the makeup. They were a dermatological
mhm.
skincare.
Okay.
And they offered me, after the job was over, they offered everybody a peel to do, like a
Oh.
skin peel.
Mhm.
So I did that, and it brought out hyperpigmentation
Mm,
on my face.
okay.
I'm prone to inflammation. And so
Mhm.
there's a lot of things. If you are prone to inflammation, if you have an autoimmune, if you have endocrine issues, you want to stay away from acids and lasers and all those medical aesthetic things. So there's a difference. Like the spa that I had, we didn't do medical aesthetics, which
Okay.
are going to be deeper. Medical aesthetics are always going to be some kind of laser,
Mhm.
or some kind of acid or something that's, penetrating a little further into the skin. So
Okay.
you have to be careful with this if you are prone to inflammation,
Okay.
because I did not know that I was prone to inflammation. So I decided to get an IPL. I went and had an IPL laser, and the result of it, to make
Mhm.
to make this story a little shorter, after a couple of treatments, I was scarred with hyperpigmentation. I just had it right here, and the laser brought out hyperpigmentation all over my face, and then it scarred me at the deepest dermal level. So it was like, it's not going away. And yeah, so you have to be careful of that. I also had an instance, and I'm not saying this is a bad thing to do. I didn't have a good instance with this. I had dermaplaning, and I meant to grab one of my little Japanese razors, but dermaplaning is, when you go to somebody and they exfoliate with a razor, the surface stratum corneum off your face. So I had that done. The next morning, I woke up, stepped outside for 1 second to dump my garbage. My entire face was water blisters, like little tiny hundreds all over my face.
Wow.
And that wasn't fun too. It hurt. It was burning.
That sounds painful.
So you just have to be really careful and kind of, learn a little bit more about these things, because in our climate now with skincare, everybody thinks everything, well, it must be, it's not harmful. Everybody does it. So it's easy. Right.
Yes.
So, I definitely did not have, it made things worse for me. And
that sounds terrible.
And so go ahead.
What about stuff like injectables like Botox and fillers and whatever? I don't even know what's out there anymore, but that's a whole nother thing.
Well, I think that's a moderation thing. Personally, I'm staying away from those because I don't like the other ingredients that are in them. I've actually done behind the scenes, makeup for training videos for a lot of those companies. So I'm sitting there, doing makeup on everybody in the video and hearing the training that doctors get. And so there's a lot of things that, that's another thing. Everybody thinks no big deal. And if you're somebody that does it, I think moderation is key. The injector is key. Have to go to a good injector. Personally, I'm staying away from it because I know some of the ingredients in there. And to me, doing injectables is the same thing as going to the gym, building up your body, and then just stopping working out.
Oh, man.
And what happens, your muscles atrophy and they sag. So when you are no longer using a muscle because it is frozen or it's paralyzed and you're not using it anymore, you have to keep injecting because it's going to droop. It's going to sag. Now you've taken away from the strength of that. And there's actually, I'd love to share with you a few things that I think are a great alternative.
Yes, for sure.
To those things. So I can show you really quick. I don't know if these little, wait, let me get a good box of this. So this is a brand that I will use. It's called Asia Med. These are, this is kinesiology tape for the face, specifically for the face. You can't use regular kinesiology tape. It has to be for the face. So I was buying this. This is an example of when I was buying this same basic roll. This has been used, obviously, from somebody. And I think she charges $40 for this. But I got all three of these directly from Asia Med. They come in different colors for the same price. So you can go straight to their website, Asia Med. And so what you do with this, I will say it's tricky. You do have to watch some tutorials first. Because you want to make sure you're taping correctly. You don't want to, if you tape wrong, then you will have some issues. But this tape, you can see on the back, there's little lines and stuff. So you cut the tape. Of course, I don't have scissors right here. That would be too organized of me. But let me just show you with a piece that I have in this box. We'll just do this. So what you would do, and this is just for use at night. So what you would do, like I have really bad 11s. And so beforehand, I would do my skincare. I would let my oils and everything kind of sink in a little bit. So maybe wait like a half an hour. And then you would just very lightly kind of massage just to get the blood circulating here. And then this is not exactly how you do it, but pretend this is a skinny strip. And then you would put here and go over. Okay, obviously not the right size strip, but you would do one on each side. And then I will sometimes do a triangle shaped one up here. And the interesting thing is all the expressions that we make during the day, we make at night while we're sleeping.
Really?
Yes. Okay. So I'm always like this. I've always done that. There's pictures of me as a 2-year-old like doing this outside in the sun. So I've always done that. And so when I tape that at night, I'm not making that face. So it's a slow process. I just started doing this a few months ago, and I'm not super consistent doing it every night, but I'm trying to be more consistent with it. Yeah. So it's a slow process. It might take 6 months to a year for these lines to smooth out on me. I also do them here because wearing the mask for 2.5 years for 12 hours a day, anytime I worked, completely wrecked my face. It pushed up here. So I have a lot deeper lines. I also have
a COVID mask.
Lines. Is there I'm sorry, COVID mask. Yes.
Yeah.
The N95 mask every day. So sorry.
So
I also do it here because now I have smoker's lines from wearing that every day, all day, and I don't smoke. So I also do I'll massage here and do it here. It also created a lot more pigmentation. So I'd love to share with you what I do with that. So I have stopped. Sorry, I'm always lots of information. I hope I'm not going too fast.
I'll tell you otherwise.
Okay. So I also, some of the things I no longer use are retinol. So no Retin-A, no tretinoin. Those things can disrupt your skin barrier over time. And then it keeps you from holding in moisture. Okay. So one of the things, there's 2 things I'll show you that I've started to use in place of those, or in place of peels, or in place of acids. I am using these 2 oils, and I think I put these in the download. So this is Cacay Beauty Oil, CACAY. This I use as a serum. It takes the place of vitamin C. So if you have, you want to brighten, or if you have pigmentation, or just things that you want to improve, especially if you do have skin conditions, autoimmunes, if you're prone to inflammation, this is great. It does not, vitamin C and retinols, you have to be really careful with the sun. You're really not, you have to wear a lot of sunscreen. Right. I'm probably going to shock everybody if I say I'm not really into sunscreen anymore either, because of all the chemicals.
Yeah. Okay. It's funny. So this past winter when we were in Florida, none of us wore sunscreen, which was a first for us. And we just limited our sun exposure.
Right. And I'm not saying I never wear it. If I was going to be outside for 12 hours, I would definitely, but I'm really careful about sunscreens, and I like to choose things that are, more clean. But so what I will do, so at night I use this one, and I use it like a retinol. So that's what I use at night. You can also use bakuchiol. Sometimes I will mix a couple of drops of each, just because I'm that person. I'm always mixing things.
So tell us about that again. So I'm sure people are going to ask. So tell us about that oil again. So how do you?
Okay. So the Cacay oil or bakuchiol, those are the 2 oils that I recommend if you have hyperpigmentation, or if you were using a Retin-A or a tretinoin product and you want to wean yourself off of that. This oil has all the properties that are going to help to brighten. And you just do a couple of drops of it. And I'll kind of take you through a routine that I recommend. And of course, you can do as much or as little as you want to do. You don't have to do all the steps that I do. The beginning of this year, I started going to less ingredients, started creating some of my own stuff that I use, mixes that I use on myself. And I'm still trying to repair my skin barrier. I'm still trying to deal with the hyperpigmentation. So I'm always going to do a few more mixes. Not necessary if your skin is overall healthy and you don't have a lot of issue. So I say kakadu, but some people say cockadoo, like cockadoodle do. So this one, this plum, there are there are oils out there that are like over $100 that contain this. And this is the ingredient that they're, touting as being the miracle thing in that product. And this is like, maybe it's $30 and it will last for months.
Let's see if you can hold it up to your camera. I don't see if we can see it good.
Can you see
That's
that?
kind of bright. Hang on, let me see if I can slow down the.
I know, because it's white.
I see.
Since it's a white bottle.
Yeah, I see it. So I guess I can get it from you. I'll put it in the notes. Okay.
It's Kakadu Plum. This brand is Kiyomi. I think I did put this in the download. This Kiyomi brand I'm loving because it's inexpensive, it's clean, it's pure, it's cold pressed. The ingredients are, they basically farm the ingredients. So
it's a Japanese product. It sounds like it has a Japanese name. Or
yes. I think I forget what the name Kiyomi means, but I think it does sound Japanese.
Seems like a lot of Asian women have it together. I don't know if this is true, but there's a lot of great Asian products out there, or like Japanese or even some Chinese products.
There really are. But I mean, honestly, to be honest with you, I like Japanese women, Korean women, they are so into skincare. They do like a 10 or 15 step routine every day. They're really, really into their skincare. Like in their cultures, it's perfect skin is important.
So that's interesting.
Why.
So I was wondering, speaking of other cultures and things, just kind of as an aside, so skincare in Europe and the laws around what they can put in it, and I'm sure in Asia, I don't know for sure, but it seems like in Europe they're different. I know obviously
they're
the US
way different.
So they're a lot tighter, right? With what?
Yeah, there's over 3,000 ingredients that we allow in the States that other countries, specifically specifically Europe, they've banned, I think it's almost 3,500 chemicals.
Wow.
And we still allow those chemicals.
Which is just like with food. That's why I asked. Because
it is. I always relate it to food. I always relate it back to food because
it's putting it's digesting. I mean, obviously absorbing it just like we would food.
Right.
So what's going on? Like they're trying.
The regulations haven't been changed since the 1920s in the United States. So this is why I think I'm so much more passionate about this, is because there's, like I said, there's a lot of bait and switch. There are, I'm going to tell you, like I said, anything you buy at the drugstore is probably not going to be clean unless it specifically and transparently says on the label that it's clean, and they back it up with a lot of information.
Okay. So, or just like minimal ingredients, it sounds like.
Yes. So one of my guidelines with buying things is that I look at the brand, like the actual company first.
Okay.
Are they transparent about the ingredients? Are they, what are they putting in there? Where do they source them? How careful are they about what they're putting in these products? And how transparent are they? Do they lay it all out there on their website? If a company doesn't, I have a lot of clients that will be like, oh, I bought this and it's got these in here and it says it doesn't have parabens, or, they'll name like 5 things it says it doesn't have. And they're like, it's clean, right? And so this is where I check things for toxicity. And there's 3 apps that I use for that because I like to cross-reference. It's Environmental Working Group's Skin Deep app.
They're so good. I like that one too.
One. Yeah. I will say this, the only thing about them is they do take hefty donations from a lot of large corporations. So you have to be a little careful.
Okay. And that's where you scan it. You scan the QR code on the product, right? Or put in the info?
You put in the info, or you just look up the product. Then there's Think Dirty, which is another one. They're kind of an offshoot. They're very similar to Skin Deep. The other one that I love is Switch Naturals. There are other apps too, but Switch Naturals is the most stringent with certain ingredients. And Environmental Working Group is more stringent with other ingredients. So they all have slightly different guidelines. So that's why I like to do 3. I like to check products using 3 of them. Because I want this one right now
as we're talking to it, because this is so good. Because when I go to the store and I'm looking at things, or just going through my own cabinet, you know, when
Yeah.
I'm cleaning things out, like, do I really like
Yeah.
this? And I've even come across several companies, like natural companies, nutrition, health companies,
Mhm.
that I like to look, even if they're touting quality skincare also, I
Mhm.
like to look at their food first because that's something I'm familiar with.
Yeah.
Like I can look at labels and understand.
Yeah.
So sometimes it'll say, yeah, all these great things, but then there's like, well, what about these other 3 or 4 things that are in here too,
Mhm.
like that I don't talk about? And then for
Exactly.
me, it kind of gives me a little bit of a head up on, a leg up on
Mhm.
their skincare. So then
Right.
I kind of do that too. And a lot of, yeah, I don't know, sometimes it's just like
Yeah.
too much. Like it's just too many, like so many
It
ingredients, even if
it's
they're touting to be natural.
overwhelming.
Yeah.
It's overwhelming for me. And
Yeah.
I've been doing this for 30 years. So I sometimes I'm like, how do people even choose things? You know, it's just the
I
best
know.
marketing, the best package.
Right.
So
Exactly. Right.
yeah, I mean,
Okay.
the other thing, there's so much more I want to share with you, but one of
Yeah.
the things, let me find, here we go. Okay. This little Egyptian magic, which if I'm really super dry, I will use this. I don't know if you're familiar with that. But
Uh-huh.
one thing I want to share, and I don't know if if you're going to be able to see it. Can you see right here? There's like a little container with
Okay.
a
Oh yeah.
lid popped
Yes.
off.
Uh-huh.
That tells you the expiration of the product. And
Okay.
most people don't realize that that's on most products. Like
Okay.
like the Kiyomi products don't have it because they're such a small company.
Uh-huh.
But this jar is 36 months.
Okay.
So it'll tell you a 36 and an M, or it'll tell
Okay.
you,
Oh,
let
I
me
see.
grab.
Okay.
So this product is like 12 months. This is
Okay.
a lip and cheek that I sometimes use.
Mhm.
This corrector is probably too small. I can't read it, but I
Mhm.
think this one's 12 months as well.
Okay.
So if something,
Mhm.
look at your product, see what it says. If it's gone past 6 months past that date,
Mhm.
toss. Don't
Okay.
even, because like I said, most of these products are going to have water,
Okay.
and they need a lot of preservatives, and they might smell okay. A lot of
Mhm.
people think, oh, if it smells bad, that's when it's gone bad. Not necessarily. There's sometimes, especially with clean products,
Mhm.
sometimes the scent will dissipate before you're done, so
Okay.
it'll smell different, but it
Right.
shouldn't smell rancid. If it smells rancid, then yeah, you're
Wow.
in trouble. But
Okay.
I just recommend tossing it as soon as, like, you could probably go a month or two beyond that.
Mhm.
But if it's 6 months beyond, I would just toss. I wouldn't
Okay.
even,
So
I
as far
wouldn't
as
even.
expiration dates go, is it
Mhm.
good that they have an I mean, like, is it say anything about the product because it has an
Um,
expiration date, or what does
I
it say
mean,
about it?
you want it to have an expiration date.
Okay.
A lot of clean products, if because they don't have preservatives, they're gonna expire faster. I'm
Okay.
gonna say in general, the clean products that I have are usually about half the lifespan of a traditional product that's got a lot of preservatives in it.
Which makes
So
sense. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, but you don't
Okay.
want the preservatives.
Yeah, I
You don't want all
know.
that
It's
stuff.
better to, yeah, toss it
Yeah,
and get a new one or use it up. Yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, exactly,
Okay. Yeah,
exactly.
this is such good
Um,
education. I love this. Okay, so tell me about you. Well, you told us a little bit about your evening routine. So as far
okay.
as like before like makeup preparation, because I know there's like, you see like the moisture or what's it called?
Mhm.
Moisturizer and the cleanser and toner. Like, is that even a thing?
Mhm.
Or like what should we be doing
I'm a
daily
big
or in the morning?
I'm a big toner, but hydrosol toner, not
Okay.
like alcohol toner. So I'm just going to share with you what I do. Well, first of all, I do want to share, like, I made this little cleansing balm for myself, and it's
Uh-huh.
literally the oils that I like to use on my face, and I added shea butter and I cooked it all together, and it makes this little balmy kind of cleanser. I'm a
Okay.
big fan of oil cleansing. I don't think anybody over 40 should be using a foaming cleanser or even a very active type of cleanser. The oil cleanser is going to keep your skin barrier healthy. I want to share this. I'm not necessarily affiliated with any of these things, but
Okay.
this place, it's an olive mill that's about an hour from my house,
Oh.
and they press all of these. All the
Uh-huh.
ingredients in here, they press them, they make
Wow.
them,
That's
and
really
it's
cool.
super clean. So this is their Olive Spa face erase oil.
Okay.
And I have to say, I love this. I bought it a little over a month ago. I use it at night mostly. And then in the morning, I just will put a little bit on and use a cloth. I want to show you the kind of cloth too. But
Okay.
this is olive fruit oil. It's not olive oil that you eat.
Oh,
It's
fruit oil.
olive fruit oil. That's what you want anytime you see olive oil in product.
Uh-huh.
And it's jojoba. And
Oh,
then
okay.
it's got a couple other things in here, like a bergamot oil, a lavender oil, but they're the oils. They're not the essential oils. I also don't recommend products with a lot of essential oils because those can irritate the skin. If it's like 1% at the very end of the ingredients. So I would do that. So what you do when you do an oil cleanser is you put the cleanser on your face.
Mm-hmm.
And then I always love, some kind of little cloth.
Mm-hmm.
And I recommend like the microfiber ones or baby washcloth, or this is a face one. It looks rough, but it's really soft.
Okay.
So what you would do, you massage that over your face.
Mm-hmm.
Then you put the cloth in pretty warm water. You don't want to go too hot because that can damage the skin as well. So warm water, you just press it on your face, wipe that off, rinse it again with the water, squeeze it out. Same thing. Do that a few times. Then I always splash with water just to make sure I've gotten any residue. If I'm wearing a lot of makeup, I'll double cleanse. I'll do it twice because the second one gets everything off. And I think cleansing is one of the most important things.
It just sounds nice with that towel. It just sounds like
it is really nice. But a lot of people tend to not cleanse enough. And then that's what causes some premature aging as well. So after that, I would do either like a toner, but these are hydrosols. So you could do like a rose water. I love sandalwood because sandalwood is very, very hydrating. You just spray that on. When you do an oil, whether it's a castor oil or you're using like one of these oils that I shared with you, your face needs to be damp.
Okay.
A lot of people put it on dry. It's going to go way better if you put it on damp. So that's why I spray a hydrosol. So a hydrosol is the ingredient pressed with water. So I know I said don't use water, but this would be the only exception. It's steamed and it's pressed with the sandalwood, or it's pressed with the rose to get the rose water. So then so I use, as I said, I'll use this as a serum. In place of my vitamin C or my retinol. And then I tend to take old bottles from products that I've used and I fill them up and I use that. Then I'll use a castor oil. My castor oil I mix with some other things because of all the issues with my skin and dryness and damage. So I mix it with black cumin. I'll mix it with sea buckthorn oil or rosehip fruit oil. Just also cut it because for me, castor oil is a little sticky and I love it. It's a little sticky. So I think if you cut it with something else, it goes on easier.
Oh, okay. That's good to know too. Okay.
And I also use it on my body. So I just get big. So when you buy castor oil, and maybe you guys have talked about this already, it needs to be organic. It needs to be hexane free, and it needs to be stored in a glass dark bottle. Because if it's in a plastic bottle, as we know, castor oil detoxifies things. It's going to pull the microplastics.
Oh, that makes sense. Okay.
It needs to be a glass bottle. And I just, you can get these on Amazon. You can usually get them at like a health food grocer. They always have glass bottles and stuff.
Glass bottles. I like the pump too, like how it's in a pump. Makes it
and
easier.
Then the last step that I do is a tallow balm. And that's pretty much my routine. And sometimes at night, I will just get the castor oil a little up to the top of the cheekbone. When you're using something on your eye, you don't necessarily want to go right up to the eye, but castor oil is actually not bad for that. Like I wouldn't say put a bunch under there, but if it gets a little higher, it's really fine.
Yeah, now that my eyes have been kind of dry, I've been putting a little bit of tallow or castor oil up on my eyelids just to kind of help to moisturize my eyes a little bit. Because instead of putting it in my eye, I just kind of let it seep through my eyelids, and it does help.
I also do it. I buy these little I buy the glass ones, not the plastic, little empty mascara things. And I put castor oil in and I put it on my eyebrows because my eyebrows have gotten thinner from Hashimoto's.
Oh yeah, that's a thing. It brings regrowth, or it's supposed to regrow hair.
And
Okay.
I will do a little bit of pure rosemary oil, just a couple drops. It's super strong. My husband's like, you smell like a salad dressing.
Oh, rosemary.
Yeah.
It's good, but it's strong. Yeah.
Right. So that's the basic skincare routine.
I love it. Okay.
And I
And
know
then how
we're
about,
probably,
okay, we're good. Yeah. So how about, let's talk about the application. So after you do your skincare routine, so now let's talk about makeup application. So what's next?
There's just a few things I want to highlight, but one thing I will say, you need to wait 10 minutes after you put on your skincare before you put on your makeup. Women are always telling me, my foundation doesn't last, my makeup doesn't last. Well, you don't want to put it on immediately. You want to let that sink in.
Okay.
Because the skincare products are going to start sinking into your skin. If you put makeup right over it, the makeup's going to start sinking into your skin as well.
Oh, I see.
But it also will go away. It'll just go away faster. So
right.
Wait 10 minutes. And then there's a few things that I recommend if you just want like a quick, I could tell you my routine once I do my skincare. I do my eye makeup. I let the skincare sit in. I start blow drying my hair.
That's a good idea.
Then once it's, sunk in a little bit and I have my eye makeup on, then I start doing a little bit of foundation or a tinted moisturizer or a serum. So I really like serum makeup instead of heavier foundation.
Okay.
But the one thing I do want to share, because if you don't have time to do that, there's a couple of things I want to share with you. I love doing an under eye corrector. These are two that I'm using right now. They're Jane Airedale, but you would put this on under, see if you can even see it on my hand, but you'd put this on under your concealer.
Okay.
It brightens everything up under your eyes. As we age, we tend to get more purple out here, purpley pink out here and here. Like sometimes you'll notice you might have like a little purple or pink skin right there on the edge of your eye. That starts to happen as we age. So this one I kind of like, but I use the other one more. But this one has like a little metal thing on it, so you can kind of work it in, and it's a little darker. I don't know if you can even.
Okay. Yeah.
Probably can't see it. I don't know. There's two of them, but
yeah.
So I'll do this under concealer. I have very dark, vampire-ish, veiny under eyes. So as I've aged, it's gotten more. I'm like, well, I don't want to keep putting too much makeup on because then it emphasizes wrinkles. I just want to look fresh and awake. So this is great. And some people, once they use this, they don't even need, and it doesn't have to be this brand. You're just looking for an under eye corrector that's a light peach. If you have darker skin, a darker peach. If you have very dark skin tone, like a light orange. But the reason to do this is you don't have to use as much concealer. And for some people, they don't have to use any concealer because they don't have dark circles like me.
Okay. Well, I meant like if you just did those two, you would need to put a concealer on top, right? Because otherwise
you don't have to.
But you don't have to still. Oh,
no. Okay. Once you dab that in and it's blended, a lot of people I know don't even use concealer after that.
Okay.
Because it just brightens everything. It just depends on your own face and how dark your circles are and how much time you want to take. Right. But I love doing.
Is there a concealer that you recommend or would like? You like?
Oh my goodness. There's so many concealers. My favorite concealer, let me see if I put so many things on this table to share. But of course now, I do love this brand, Say. I like their foundation. They have a sheer tinted one, and then they have a slightly more medium coverage, but you can build. But I do like this. It's very sheer. It's a nice weight. It's one of the ones I like. There's a lot. There's a lot though. Kosas makes a nice under eye concealer. And again, with, in trying to do clean and low toxicity, makeup is going to have a lot more ingredients than your skincare is going to, but this is why I always check for toxicity. So even if this has 25 ingredients, but it scores a number 2 on a 0 to 10, I'm okay with that. Like my guideline is 3. Occasionally I'll go to 4. You just have to figure out what your guideline is. Usually once it gets over 4, you're kind of getting more into the potential toxicity. So I would always do a little brightening under the eyes, even if you don't want to wear foundation. It just kind of wakes up the face.
Okay.
Another thing that I do always is a bit of brow. This is just a little brow pencil, but I love brow gel. And then I want to share with you, this is super easy. This is just me putting this in a container. It is, it's a glycerin soap. I just buy a glycerin soap and I cut it up and I put it in a little container. And then I get a little brush like this. I wet this, I rub it in here and just brush my eyebrows up with it.
How neat.
And then you can just, do that. And like,
it just sounds nice. Like all of the eye stuff. It sounds so refreshing, but just like you said, like wakes up your face a little bit.
I mean, your brows frame your eyes. Right. Yeah. And a lot of times as we age, I know my brows have gotten way thin as I've aged, and I'll just do a little pencil or I'll do a little brow gel.
Okay.
Like a colored tinted brow gel. There's Nude Sticks makes one of my favorite ones. And I didn't think I did put that in the download. But it's just really easy. Like everybody's brows are different, but I want easy just as much as everybody else does. Even though I might use a lot of products, I want them to be fast.
Yeah.
So I think
a routine.
Brow gel, always important. The next thing, eyelash curler.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I just stumbled across mine in my drawer this morning when I was cleaning.
It makes such a difference. So just curling the lashes before you put on mascara, it lifts them up. Yeah. Before. Always do this before. You don't want to put on mascara and then do it because it'll stick and you might break some lashes. But this is, I think this is one of my favorite tools of all time as far as makeup, because it's an instant change. It instantly makes your lashes, go upward. They look fuller, they look longer.
Yeah.
So this is a big thing.
Okay. So I have a quick question. So as far as like getting fake lashes put on, yay or nay, or just preference?
Like a lash extension, you mean?
Because that's kind of, it's been popular over the past few years, but
I don't think it's a bad thing. I think it's always, any service that you have done, I think it's always two things. It's always what product are they using and what's their experience? And are they going to do what I need them to do? Because the experience of the person doing it is going to be really important. Because now in the lash world, it's like a bigger, better,
I know,
caterpillar.
It's like too much sometimes.
Yeah, it's crazy
for me. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
it depends.
But it's about looking at the work that person does, and if you find somebody that does looks normal, it just looks like your eyelashes when you were 18, as opposed to 40 something. So I don't think they're bad, but I do think. I do think you need to take a break from them. You could wear them for months, and then I think everybody needs a little break because it's going right on top of the lash. There's also a lot of Lashify and those that are at home and they go under the lash here. And I think if you can tolerate it, usually that's an at-home thing. They'll usually last for several days. If you can tolerate the glue and they don't bother you, I think that's okay.
Okay, just thought of that as we're talking about eyelash curling.
Yeah.
So what about foundation? You were mentioning about foundation. Any particular ones?
So I do love this. I do love this Say.
Oh, that's
I do like some of the ones that I like. I'm going to be honest, they're really pricey. So as a professional, they're super pricey, and sometimes people don't want to spend that much. But I love Westman Atelier.
Okay.
I do like Ilia, which they have either the regular foundation or the serum.
Okay.
And I do like some of the Kosas products. Okay. So those are probably my favorites. And over the last year, I've probably tried 35 clean brands.
Wow. Okay. There's a lot out there. That's good that there's a lot to choose from there.
Yeah, there is a lot. And then I do want to just share with blush. I always recommend a cream.
Okay.
When you're over 40, I recommend a cream, something easy that you can just this is just the one that I use. You can just put it on and that's I think a little bit of blush, and I always recommend a pink or a peachy pink shade or a rosy shade, because if you think about young children, if you have young children and they're running around playing, what does their face look like? Their cheeks look rosy and pink.
Right.
So a lot of times we get, people get locked into certain colors. Like I'm thinking of people that I know that this person wears orange blush. Well, you wouldn't have a flush in your cheeks that's bright orange.
Right.
So, and you wouldn't purple. I don't recommend purple tones.
Okay.
Ever, because as we age, like I said, we get more purple around here. I think it brings it out more, and it's just not as vibrant looking.
Okay.
The other thing, pink, like a pink, a rosy pink, a peachy pink. Those all look more similar to how you would really blush if you were like a kid running around, right?
Okay. And like the cream ones.
I like the cream. Okay. There is one exception. Now, I buy the refills of this. The RMS Redimension powder, it has a glow to it. It's very dewy and glowy. I do like this one as well. Okay. I just think that the cream is super easy. You can put it on with your fingers, blend it, and it's done. And it usually stays pretty well. Okay. And then, I don't know, have I covered all the...
And then what about like application as far as like eye makeup, like shadow? Any particular... We can keep going. It's okay. Just if you're good, I'm good.
I'm good. I'm good.
You can always chop up this video and make it two different things or keep all as one.
So I meant to bring a different color here, but this little nude sticks, this is the one that I used this morning. Okay. So I think can you see that? Yeah. Is it showing up? Yeah. So this pencil, I swear by these nude stick pencils. It's a clean brand that's low toxicity. You can they have some great colors. They have a kit out right now that I love. I think it's like their beachy one. Anyway, you can literally just put it on like that and do that to blend it. Okay. I think, what I tend to do is I tend to just put a lighter color in here. Okay. And a darker color in the corners. And I just smudge them with my fingers. That's literally what you're looking at today.
Simple. Okay. Yeah.
So simple. So simple.
And then any other colors, or how do you? That's another thing. Colors.
Okay. So it obviously depends on skin tone, but I think, just in my experience working and being on set every day and working with all different kinds of people, I think you can't go wrong with like a champagne tone in here. Okay. Like a kind of a champagne or a pink champagne. You can't go wrong with something that's like a kind of a darker rusty bronze. That looks good on a lot of people. Kind of a gray plum tone looks good on a lot of people. Those colors usually look really good. And it just depends on your preference and how much blending you want to do and how much. But nude sticks, I should try to look this up really quick and just show you guys, because this kit that they have out right now, I've already purchased 2 of them for myself and my makeup kit. Okay. Because the colors are so good in this kit. So let me just try to find it very quickly. Of course, all the pop-ups, million pop-ups. Let's see. Let me see if I can find it. Let's see if this is going to cooperate with me, since I'm okay. It's called the Nude Beach set. Okay. And these are the colors. Can you see? Is it? Yeah. Are you able to see that? I can. So those are the colors in the Nude Beach set. And it's kind of everything that anyone would need. There's darker colors, there's lighter colors. I just love their products, because also when I travel, 2 of these takes up no room. Yeah. In my, travel bag.
So what brand is that again, you said?
It's Nude Sticks.
Oh, Nude Sticks. Okay.
Yeah.
Did you just, is their website? Oh, I see. Nude Sticks. Okay.
And I did put it in the download, because I did talk about their lip. Their entire line is all crayon based. So this is a lip and cheek. Okay. Not sharpen, but this color right there, you can use it on your lips or your cheeks. So
that's a nice
I
color.
could have 2 of these, one of these in my purse, and
you're good. Wow.
It takes no room. You just rub everything with your fingers. It makes it really easy.
So as far as lip and cheek goes, is it kind of ideal to kind of match it up between your lips and your cheeks? I mean, does it make it better or not necessarily?
I mean, it's more cohesion if you want to just create a polished look really easily, but you don't have to. Okay. I mean, I think that, you know, like if you are better with warmer colors, like when I was talking about blush, if you're better with warmer colors, do a more peachy kind of pink, something that's warmer. And then you could do a similar color on your lip. I think it's color, you know, the color thing is really, you just have to kind of test things. And I know that's hard because we buy so much online now.
Right.
But the good thing is most of these, I don't even know if I answered that question at all, but the good thing is all these websites have, you know, swatches on the site. Okay. I don't think your lip and cheek have to match, but it's easier if they kind of match, if you can. And it's more cohesive.
That makes sense. That's kind of what I was thinking anyway. Yeah, that makes sense. And then, like you said, as far as like knowing what colors are good for your face, you mentioned. So I guess I was thinking about more eye stuff, but the way you showed us that palette of that variation of colors, that's a pretty good place.
This one, I've honestly, I've used, because I have a set of these colors that I use in my professional kit. And then I have a set that I use for my personal kit. But no kidding, I've used these on every skin tone and they look really pretty. That's the only reason I'm bringing that up. But I do think, you know, I will say this. I have a lot of ladies that will say, oh, I had my colors done 20 years ago and I'm a cool. And so I'm thinking of one lady in particular, and she had gray hair and blue eyes. She's like, no, I'm a cool. I don't wear anything warm. Okay. And I put like a dark, deep kind of russet, bronzy color on her eyes, and she could not believe how blue it made her eyes, because you have the orange undertone in there. Yeah. Made her eyes really blue. It kind of woke up her face a little bit more than the eyeshadow she was using, because she was doing like gray tones because she thought, oh, I'm a cool. I can't do any other. So with colors, I think, you know, color draping and people knowing your, you know, knowing your season. Right. I think it's a good idea when it comes to clothing and all of that. But at the same time, I think sometimes people get a little bit married to that. And I think you can kind of experiment and go a little bit outside of your colors sometimes. And also sometimes our colors, our seasons will change. And
I was thinking even with her hair color, maybe her hair color changed over the years. I wonder if that would affect
well,
her.
I think it does factor in, but I also think the biggest thing is all the stuff we do use on our face, all the retinols and all the acids and all the peels and all the highly active products. It does change your skin tone.
Right.
And a lot of times people don't realize that. I was always a winter. And then I was working with a client and she started pulling out all these things to give me my colors. And she said, I don't think you're a winter anymore. I think you're actually a spring. I was like, spring? How did you get that? I mean, that's like the opposite. That's total opposite. Right. But I was like, okay, I'm going to play around with this. So some of the colors that she recommended for me, I added a couple of them into my wardrobe. I mean, I'm mostly neutral colors. Just makes my life easier. But I was wearing colors I would have never worn before, and I got so many compliments on them. So I think that is because I do have some rosacea. I do have some broken capillaries. It makes my face a little more red than it used to be. So that's where a totally different palette came in, because my skin tone had changed.
Wow. So that's good to know. Yeah, it's good because it's easy to think, okay, well, I have it down. I know what colors I am, makeup wise or clothing. And it changes. Yeah. Okay.
It can change. It can definitely change. I mean, some people don't, but some people do. It just depends on, you know, I mean, we know Donna. I would say Donna's a winter. Donna is still a winter. I'm no longer a winter. I have a different skin. I have more ruddiness to my skin than I did 20 years ago. So that's why.
Okay. That's good to know.
I
I
might
wonder
be
if have
confusing people.
no, no, this is good. Remember my mom, growing up, my mom would always say, "Oh, yeah, I had my colors done by somebody." So I wonder if that was a thing in the 80s.
It
Like
was
women were,
totally a thing in the 80s
that's probably
because
why.
I
Yeah.
got trained on it for somebody that I was working for, and I was doing that. I was
Yeah.
doing color draping.
Yeah,
Yeah.
my mom still swears by it. Like that's like
Yeah.
the thing. Like she always wears those particular colors or whatever. I'm like, okay. I guess it does make
Yeah.
it easier to go shopping because then
It,
and I've done that before, but more recently.
yeah.
Because when you
I
go
think
in, you
it's
have a plan and you know what to look
right.
for. Yeah.
And I think it's a good tool. I really do think it's a good tool.
Yeah.
But sometimes you can step outside of it just a little bit, like the case of this lady that I'm talking about. And we just switched up her eyeshadow, and I did do more of a pink blush where she was doing like a very reddish tone because she thought she needed the color in her face.
Yeah.
And but the pink made her look more youthful. And then we just found so don't be afraid to experiment a little bit and see. And you'll know by other people's reactions to you. Honestly, when people are like, "Wow, that looks really good," you'll know by that.
Yeah, exactly. It's something new. It feels weird at first. You're like, this kind of
Right.
looks good, but I'm not sure. It's like
Right.
because it's different. But even though,
Yeah.
Okay. And then I have one more question. So this is a little bit unrelated, but kind of related. So as speaking of hair color, I know that's something you've done in the past, but I'm not sure how versed you are. But I mean, same thing, chemicals, right? Putting chemicals on our scalp. So what's your recommendation? What's your thoughts on hair color?
There are brands that are low tox color. They don't have as much toxicity.
Okay.
Let me try to pull up the brand because I switched the color. I'm very gray. I have a ton of gray. So
yeah, me too. Yeah, I'm asking for me and everybody else. Yeah.
Let me try to. I think it's OM is the brand. Let me see if it comes up. I might have to get back to you on the brand, but there are definitely brands now that are doing lower toxicity chemicals. They're not as harsh. They're putting other things in the color, so it's not as harsh because I know in my case I get color and then within 2 weeks I'm like, oh, I'm getting the skunk stripe on the top of my head, but I don't want to put color on so quickly.
Okay.
I don't want to do it every 2 weeks. So I will let the skunk stripe go. And I wish I would have grabbed this product. There is a brand called Style Edit.
Okay.
And they have a little powder that comes in a little round thing. It's got a little sponge on the bottom. You swirl it on top and to me, it's better than the ones that you get in the drugstore that you're spraying. Okay. And it's easier. It's faster. It's, you can put it directly on the areas instead of spraying and trying to catch the spot,
that's
but
a good idea. Okay.
I will get back to you about the brand of color because I switched to this color. I came upon it about 1.5 years ago and I switched to doing this color because it's less harsh. And the chemical they're on your scalp. So you want to be careful with that because that's going to go into the body as well. Okay. And that's your head. Yeah. So
because I remember being pregnant, they're like, oh, you can't color your hair and everything. So I just did highlights at the time and I didn't have as much gray hair then anyway. So it didn't really matter. But I'm thinking, it just reminded me, it's like, well, not just then, but anytime, you're still putting all that stuff in your body. And it's, especially like me and you having darker hair, it's like it shows up so quickly.
It shows up so much more. And some of my friends whose hair is darker, they're blonde now. They're doing blonde highlights and they're doing all to disguise it because it'll blend with the blonde and they don't have to color quite as often. But I will look it up and I will get back to it. It just wasn't coming up. The brand that what I did, the person who does my hair, I know her, I'm friends with her. And I just basically said, can I buy or can you buy it? I will pay for the color. And can you use this color in me every time I come in? Because she carried a different color and her color was great, but I'm trying to lower the chemicals that I'm putting.
That's what that was my next question. So, I'm like, so do you do it yourself or can you take it in? Yeah, but that would be nice.
Once in a while, I will do it myself. Like I will just tell her we can't coordinate our schedules. I'm going to come and pick up the color. Just leave it outside your door. But that's just me because I'm friends with her and she knows that I know how to color my own hair.
Your hair,
but that's, you know, I would say if your stylist or your colorist is using harsh chemicals, once I'll give you the name of this, look it up, ask them to buy it for you because you need a license to buy it. So ask them if they'll buy it for you. And then, you know, she just uses it on me and she doesn't charge me as much for the color. She charges, in my case, she charges me half just for the service. Yeah. Because I've already paid for the color. So I don't want to stir up trouble with anybody's hairstylist.
But I mean, if you have a good relationship with somebody, I'm thinking the girl that I go to here, her and I have a good relationship. So I'm sure she'd be open. I can just ask her.
Exactly.
I'm just asking won't hurt, right?
Right.
It's a place to start.
Can I tell you 2 more things really quick?
Yes,
I'm just cramming everything in here. So
2
other facial tools I want to share with you is gua sha stone. And I do, if anybody sees this and is interested in this, I do have a 10% discount. They can just message me and I'll send them a link. But this is a gua sha stone and this helps with lymphatic drainage. And I do think lymphatic drainage is super important. Get rid of the puffiness. I mean, yesterday I ate things that I don't normally eat on Memorial Day. So this morning I was like, oh, puffy face. But this stone, this one's a 6-sided one. It's hand carved. A lot of people like to use these kind of like the jade rollers, which are great. I like to use a gua sha. And so you'd have your oil. And then you would just kind of very gently stroke, depending on what side. And you would just like lay it across your face. Like,
is it cooling? It looks like it'd be cooling.
It's cool. It's cool.
Like a jade roller.
Right. And then you want to, I forgot I have these earbuds in, but let's just say I'm doing it this way. And then I'm taking it. Forgot I had these on.
You can take,
you take it like down to drain your lymphatics and it gets things going. And you can like use it on your jaw, this particular one, because it's got all these different sides. This rake I use on the back of my neck to release lymphatic, get it draining. So this I think is really valuable. The other thing, as I was saying, I no longer do acids. I don't do peels. I don't do the retinols. I don't know have you ever heard of a facial dry brush, like a dry brush for your body?
Yeah.
Okay. So this I love to use. I don't use it that often, maybe once a week, once every 2 weeks, but it will just slough. So you do it dry and I just kind of smooth it over. And then I just go kind of in an S pattern and always down out through the lymphatics. And there's tons of tutorials online about these things, but this always gets, if I have any bumps or if I have any clogged pores, you don't want to do it if you have really thin skin or broken capillary or if you're broken out. You don't want to use it for that. But if you have overall pretty healthy skin, it's great for exfoliating and getting all that off without using chemicals.
Right. So, yeah, we love the dry brushing, whole body dry brushing. That's for lymphatic drainage too, right? Detoxing. It's so nice. Yeah.
So this one is just for your face. It's a little bit, some of them are a little softer. This one's a little bit softer than the one I use on my body. So
yeah, I was thinking, I was going to ask you that next question because I know the one on my body, if I put it on my face, it would really like, it'd be rough. Like,
and you want it gentle with it. Like you don't want to really press with it. Like the body one, I like really do on my arms. A little heavier.
So for this one, you go down your face, right?
I go like down and then I'll go in an S shape, or you could do a circular shape. And then I always take it like down on the neck just to
so like down like towards your heart
and
your lymph system.
And there's one more thing I could like I said, I could talk about this for hours. So in the morning before I do my skincare, I do a little lymphatic like I don't even know if I'm here
behind your ears there.
And I don't know if this is something you guys are already doing, but like I'll do this on the neck gently and just kind of take it out and I'll do it a few times. And then obviously here you can massage under there and the collarbone, like tapping the collarbone,
Mm.
but just doing that for maybe like 2 minutes, especially if you're puffy or eyes are puffy. It just, I think, always draining that lymphatic is
Yeah,
really important.
it's just nice just to, and
It is,
especially if you're puffy. Yeah,
yeah.
you're just feeling like exactly the day after, eating differently than you normally would. You're like, I just feel puffy. But yeah, just to have that extra.
Me
I think
today.
I think it's the whole thing. It's the activation of what it's doing, but then
Mhm.
also the intentional self-care nurturing. It's just you feel better overall about the situation.
Yeah,
So yeah,
absolutely. And I just
yeah,
think, when you and I have talked before,
yeah,
I feel like it's a good stewardship. If our body is a temple of the Lord, I think taking care
yeah,
of your skin is just good stewardship because it's the only
yes,
skin you have and it's your
yes,
largest organ. So
yes,
I know
yeah.
some people feel like it's, oh, I'm being, like self-centered
Or
doing it or
vain,
selfish
yeah, or
doing
whatever,
it or
selfish.
vain. But
Yeah.
I think
Mhm.
I think taking care of yourself is one thing, and then just being completely,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
going overboard, that's a different thing.
yeah,
But
like one of
taking care of
our
yourself.
yeah, no, it's true. I know one of our, ladies in our group, she's a Christian meditation coach, and we talked, she was reminding me how everything you do, it depends on the intention you put with it,
Hmm.
right? So if you're
Yeah.
like doing the things for yourself to better yourself and just to be the beautiful person that you are and just, um, live out your life as a reflection of that, mm, belief about yourself, right?
Yeah.
So like, she was saying it's the intention. So if you're doing it with the intention of trying to get other people's attention or to be more loved
Right.
or to be more attractive because you're lacking love in your life, that's a different thing,
Hmm.
or
Right.
whatever. But if you're doing it just because it's
Yeah.
like, oh, I think of it like a form of worship, but really, like you said, being a steward,
Yeah.
of like,
Yeah.
wow, God, thank you for this beautiful creation you made. I want to do my best to take care of it,
Yeah.
to honor you, and for myself too. It's kind of like a twofold thing, and you just feel better for yourself, doing it.
Exactly. And
Yeah.
it is
Mhm.
in just doing the steps. And even if it's, you can do the whole skincare routine, the gua sha, everything in like 5 minutes.
Okay.
And the
Mhm.
makeup, even if it's just a handful of products that just
Mhm.
make you feel polished and put
Yeah.
together,
Yeah.
you can do it in 5 minutes. And I think
Mhm.
everybody's worth the 10 minutes to do those
Yeah.
things each day to take care of themselves. And
Right.
we face a lot in the world every day. Why not face it starting out the day feeling good?
I know. I
So
know. It's so nice. It's taking the time. So, one last question before we go.
mhm.
So, as far as like makeup application goes, should we have
Mm.
time where we take a break from it and let our skin, I mean, outside of nighttime, just like maybe have some times during the week to go without it, let your skin breathe, or is nighttime
I
enough?
um I'm a big fan of some days just not wearing any makeup.
Yeah.
But I don't think there's a hard and fast rule about
Okay.
it. I think if you are, taking care of your skin, I
Mhm.
don't think there's a completely hard and fast rule, but I do like to I just like to give my face a break
Good break. Yeah.
because I'm, in my case, I have a job that I'm on set, I'm sweating all the time. Sorry, but I'm
Yeah.
just like running around, usually overheating, usually sweating if I'm
I bet.
outside on a photo shoot location or something. So
Mhm.
the days that I have off, I try to just do the skincare
Yeah.
and leave the makeup off. The other thing that I do, I've gotten in the habit of just taking my makeup off like around dinner time.
Okay.
So I have more time in the day where my skin is breathing.
Yeah. Just open
So
and free. Yeah.
it just makes me feel better when I like washing. I
Mhm.
like, oh, I got to get this off.
Yeah, I like the
So
process I use with the cloth and everything. It looks really nice. So
yeah, it is
cool.
for
Well,
sure.
this is so fun. I love this.
Yeah.
It's so like practical and so
Thank you.
useful and educational, and yeah. So I hope that everybody can take away so much from this. So,
Yes.
okay.
Great.
So how can they find you? So I'm sure there's other people who have specific questions to their skin type or have more
Hmm.
questions about what you shared. And I'll
Um,
share this in the notes too.
yes. So my email is diane@dianeaileelo.com, kind of a tongue twister, and my Instagram, or even I think through the group, they could
Yeah.
probably message me through
Yes.
there. And
Mhm.
I've had some other people ask me for this, so I'm probably going to do a few makeup and skincare consultations like over Zoom in the month of June, if anybody's interested in that.
Yeah.
Just I have a skincare quiz that I did when I had my spa, and it kind of breaks down your skin type a little bit more, because a lot of people just think of skin type as being oily or dry, but there's more elements to it. So you're either oily or dry, so that's lacking oil or abundant in oil. Dehydrated or hydrated, which is lacking moisture or having moisture. Wrinkled or smooth, or pigmented or non-pigmented. So all those things enter in together to make your skin type. And so there's slightly different ways of handling it. So that's something I'm going to do in June. So if anybody's interested in that, they can reach out to me and I can give them information. I'm probably not going to start for a couple of weeks, but I have had other people ask me for that this summer. So
what a great opportunity though, because just to jump on something like that when you can get all the information that you need in one.
So it's
thing.
A little more personalized. It's an hour. So yeah, if anybody's interested in that, they can reach out.
No, I love that. That's a good idea. It's a win-win. You get to teach and they get to learn. That's always fun. Okay. So, and then you have a guide, and I'll put that in the notes too.
Yes.
So I have a link for her guide, and I think it says Makeup Artist's Clean Beauty Guide.
Right.
That's the
so
one, right?
So it's just really explaining in more detail clean beauty, what to look for, what's greenwashing, what the ingredients are, and a little more in depth of a couple of things that we spoke about today.
Okay. And then your website. Did you tell us that already?
It's just DianeAileelo.com.
Okay.
Is my website.
Okay. And I'll put that on there. Can they contact you through there at all, or just?
Yeah, they can email me through there.
Okay.
For sure.
Okay, I think we covered it all, and maybe a little bit extra, which I love. Thank you.
I know I talked a lot, but there's so many things, and I'm so passionate about it. I want to tell everybody.
Yes,
so
and I love it. That's why I wanted you to share, because I share the same passion about all the things when I get interviewed too. I'm like, just tell me when to stop, because there's so many things that, like, as you're talking, things come to mind too.
Yes.
So it's like, what about this? Yeah. So
lots of things.
Well, if you have more stuff that does come to mind, tell me, because we can do more of this too. We can do a part 2.
Okay.
Okay. Right. So hold tight, and then I'm going to finish out. So thanks everybody for being here, and let us know if you have any questions. Let Diane know if you need anything, and then she's offering some sessions, some personal sessions, private sessions in June. If you want to do that with her, that'd be a lot of fun. I'm thinking about it. That's really cool. So anyway, I'll see you all later. Bye.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.